now on Islam Channel, Living the Life.
Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to Living the Life. My name is Taslima, and today, unfortunately, you just got me, but it's okay. We have amazing 4 guests here tonight on Living the Life show. We have with us today Lady Sidra Naeem and Sister Nadia Ahmed. Assalamu alaikum, sisters. We're going to start off by Lady Sidra, who was awarded a recognition and was nominated due to volunteering for her community since 2003 in numerous projects in varied regions in England. Assalamu alaikum, Sister Lady Sidra. Welcome to the show. So how does it feel to be the first Muslim woman to be represented and get recognition by the Queen, Her Majesty?
I am really, really delighted, but also overwhelmed at the moment with all the, loving and caring comments I'm receiving from everyone. All of this actually was finalised just on Friday, so it's only been a few days to digest it all.
Oh, so it's a very recent, recognition.
Yeah.
Oh, mashallah,
so only on Friday I
congratulations.
got the final letter, even though it has been, I was told 3 months ago that this was going to happen, but in the meantime Buckingham Palace was doing all its checks and things, which takes time. So the final letter came on Friday. It was published in the London Gazette, publicly announced nationally, and I was a bit sort of overawed by it all, to be honest with you, but I'm sort of digesting the news now slowly.
And when you got the announcement by the letter, did you know that you were the first Muslim woman, or was that...
I knew before that.
Okay.
I knew before
So they
that.
informed you that
they already
when they
told
gave it
me
to
that,
you.
yes. And that, I think, for me, is the most important thing, because I'm portraying my religion. And the Queen, we know, is the head of Church of England, and then to be Muslim and then be, nominated by the Queen herself is absolutely amazing. It really is. And it's hard to believe, but, when I look at my CV, because I had to send her a 7-page, it was a 7 double-sided CV I had to send to her,
mashallah.
which was all stuff that is completely voluntary, not stuff I get paid for. So when I had to write that down, and when I sent that, then it sort of did occur to me that yes, I have done a lot.
So just tell us a bit about how much you have done then, and we'd love to hear about the kind of projects that you've done since 2003. Tell us a bit about that, and tell us what's your project that you've been most proud of, and something that you've really thought you couldn't do and then you actually managed, alhamdulillah, to do it.
For me, after 9/11 is when everything started. So I was living, all my life, first of all, I lived in London, which was full of Muslims, so I never thought about my faith. And then I moved to Brentwood, which is a very white British English, non-Islamic village where I was living. So 9/11 then happened, and everybody knew me as a Muslim, so they came to me and they started asking me questions. And I couldn't answer them because I didn't know that much about my faith, because I was parrot fashion following it, just like everybody else was. So that's when I started looking into my religion, and I felt very strong that everything that was being portrayed was not correct. It was all creating Islamophobia, and that was in turn having an effect on me, because I had some really lovely friends who stopped talking to me just because of 9/11, because they painted everyone with the same brush. So I just felt that I was there on a mission. I actually recognized my purpose of life, I would say, at that point. And I went out and I looked up Islam, and because I was a qualified teacher, I had the expertise, if you like, to deliver lectures and things. I joined the Interfaith Forum, and I started talking about, are Muslim women oppressed? Are Muslims terrorists? All the Islamophobic topics that you can think of, all the stigma topics that you can think of. So I started dissolving the myths slowly. That's how it all started, really. And then I decided I need to be a really good role model. So then I started feeding the homeless. I started raising money for mental health charities.
And all of this was in your spare time, because obviously you also
because I work as well.
Job,
but you'd be surprised when something is for Allah.
Isn't it? Because some people just say I just don't have time. It's just you just hear that so much these days, isn't it? Oh, and you know what, I want to do this, but I don't have time. I don't have time. It's like no, you know, for Allah, you have to make time.
Yeah, that does upset me because, you know, everybody can say they don't have time, but you'll be surprised when you work for Allah, Allah makes the time for you. And you'd be surprised, I do everything and fit my job in, and you come to my house and everything's done at home as well. So Allah gives you time. In His cause, you don't feel. It's like when you read Salah, the time doesn't get wasted, does it? You look at the clock and it's still the same time as when you started reading Salah. It's the same kind of concept.
Oh, mashallah. Thank you so much, Lady Sidra. We'll be coming back to you shortly. Yeah, I just want to go back to Lady Sidra with that, actually, about support. She just mentioned about support. How did your family react when they heard this news? I mean, like, obviously, when you said, oh, that's it, I want to do volunteering, I want to do this and this, how did your family, like, support you and help you in this as well?
I think the best way is to get your family involved, because that then brings up their enthusiasm as well, and drive and energy. At first I used to leave them at home and I would go and I'd do everything myself, and that was very different to when I started getting them involved, because then they'd wonder where I've gone, and I'd be always worried that I have to get back as well. But once I started getting the husband and the children involved, it meant I didn't have to worry about getting home on time, and they'd see what I was doing, and in that way you get the support because they see the importance of what you're doing. That is, I think, the best way, to be honest with you.
And you mentioned as well, like, some of the projects that you did were about feeding the homeless and a lot of the other charitable works. What was, like, the key thing that you think, like, made them decide, oh, we need to, obviously this woman has done a lot and we need to recognise her for this? What do you think it was for you that made them think, yeah, we need to recognise her as a first Muslim female?
Do you know what? There were three things, and I was told this by the Queen herself when I went to visit her last year at Buckingham Palace. She actually asked me three questions, and it was all the things that are in the media, which are really big at the moment, in the government as well. So number one was mental health. The Queen herself told me she's an ambassador for mental health, and so is Kate and William. So that was number one, which they were really, really into that. The second one was homeless. We know there's an increase in the homeless out there, and it's a government recognised initiative. And the third one was about Muslims integrating into the community, because,
which is so important.
Yes, non-Muslims are very, very hot about Muslims integrating into the community, mixing with everybody. So that's something else that they liked. And I run a women's group, which is for vulnerable ladies who suffer from mental health, may have English as a second language. And
is that for all faiths, or is that?
It's for all faiths. It actually started just for Muslims, but because we did art and craft activities in there, we actually ended up with non-Muslims asking if they could join. So then it's a huge mix. We have white British English ladies, different faiths, and everybody's then learning from each other. So some of these ladies had English as a second language. They were actually learning English from the other ladies, and we'd all bring a dish in. So we'd have British dishes and we'd have Asian dishes, and we'd all sit together and have a meal together. And that definitely did it, because the whole of last year I had television cameras in each time, women together.
Yes, I was just saying to you. So I'm going to Lady Sidra for the mains, and I'm coming to you for the desserts. There we go. That's like perfect, isn't it?
And sports, another one. So cricket matches. We've had at least 5 cricket matches now between a mosque and a cathedral. And that, again, is a very, very good way, excluding the faith, but faith in a different kind of way, mixing together, having a good time. And all the Muslims bring in all the dishes of food, which the non-Muslims love. Then at the end, we all have our tea together. That was a big hit as well.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you to both our guests today. I wish you all your best in your future endeavours. Well, alhamdulillah, it's been a great show, but we are unfortunately out of time. A massive thank you to all our guests, and all of you guys watching at home. Hope you enjoyed the show today. Make sure to tweet us on Twitter at Islam Channel, #LTL, or tag us on Instagram at Islam Channel LTV. We are back this Thursday. See you then. Assalamu alaikum.
Leading the night. Living the night. Living the night.